With the leave of the House, I move to open the privilege hour.
Is there any objection? Okay, here's none. The privilege hour is now open. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move to recognize the Honorable Raymond Democrito Mendoza of TUCP Party-list to avail of the privilege hour.
The Honorable Raymond Democrito Mendoza of the TUCP Party-list is now recognized.
Daghang salamat, Mr. Speaker. Maayong hapon. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, mga kagabayan, mga kauban sa buhat din sa Kongreso, as we begin today, the 18-day campaign to end violence against women, November 25, which also marks the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women, the TUCP Party-list renews our collective commitment and aspiration to build a world of work free from violence and harassment. By filing today the proposed enabling law for the International Labor Organization Convention No. 190, or the Violence and Harassment Convention of 2019. Today, TUCP helped facilitated the ratification of ILO Conventions 81 for labor inspection, 151 for labor relations and public service, which enabling law is now in the Committee of Civil Service, 189 for domestic workers, which we have the kasambahay law, and now 190 against violence and harassment. This is now the for enabling law. In 2024, after years of advocacy and legislative campaign of TUCP, together with our brothers and sisters in the Philippine labor movement, the Philippines formally deposited the instrument of ratification of ILO Convention 190. We made history, Mr. Speaker, as the first country in Asia to ratify the first global treaty affirming the fundamental right of every worker to a world of work free of or from violence and harassment. But ratification is not enough. It's never enough without implementation. Without an enabling law, this landmark convention will remain a mere declaration without action or promise or awaiting fulfillment. For generations, especially women workers, have suffered sexism, harassment, and even violence in silence and impunity. Fearing that speaking out will cost their jobs, countless remain underrepresented, undervalued, underpaid, or worse, unpaid. This is indeed a betrayal of nation's promise, because Constitution calls us to recognize women as pillars of nation building and uphold the fundamental equality that defines our republic. That is why, Mr. Speaker, we take this next historic step to enforce the provisions of ILO Convention 190 to end all forms of violence and harassment. This proposed enabling law adopts the comprehensive definition of violence and harassment, which refers to a range of unacceptable behaviors or practices or threats thereof, whether a single occurrence, repeated, that result in or likely to result in physical, psychological, sexual, or economic harm, including gender-based violence and harassment. Regardless if you are a trainee, a volunteer, job seeker, worker, irrespective of employment status, and regardless if private or public, formal or informal, urban or rural, ILO Convention 190 and its enabling law will protect you. As the first Asian country to ratify ILO Convention 190, our action will reverberate across the globe, inspiring other nations to follow suit offering stronger protection for the millions of modern-day hero of overseas Filipino workers, OFWs, who have been vulnerable to abuse in their respective host countries for all these years. By passing this bill, Mr. Speaker, into law, we send a strong message to the world that enough is indeed enough, and violence and harassment here and elsewhere. And when we finally end and deter violence and harassment that demoralize workers and disrupts productivity, we establish a dynamic, competitive economy founded on safer and fairer workplaces for all, constantly creating more and better opportunities for our people. Colleagues, my dear colleagues, let's make history together. The campaign to end violence and harassment cannot be confined to a single day or an annual commemoration. Today, let us reaffirm our commitment. But beyond today, let us legislate and lead. Together, let us shape a future where no Filipino at home, abroad, ever feels unsafe, unprotected, or unheard, where violence and harassment is not passed on to the future generations, but ended in ours. Daghang salamat, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker Mendoza. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move to refer the speech of Honorable Democrito to the committee.
Mr. Speaker, may I make a manifestation?
Mr. Speaker, may I recognize the Honorable Lady from Gabriela Party-list.
Honorable Ilago is recognized.
Maraming salamat, Mr. Speaker. Nais lang pong magbigay ng pahayag ng suporta ang representasyon na ito mula sa Gabriela Women's Party sa naging pahayag ng ating Deputy Speaker mula sa TUCP Party-list.
Maraming salamat. You know, Congresswoman Ilago will always treasure the wisdom of Gabriela Party-list. Daghang salamat, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Ilago. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move to refer the speech of the Honorable Raymond Mendoza and the manifestation of Honorable Sara Elago to the Committee on Rules for appropriate action.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, the speech of Honorable Raymond Democrito Mendoza, including the interpellation and manifestation of Honorable Ilago, is referred to the Committee on Rules.